Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she grew up in war-torn Bosnia. She came to the United States and she found her purpose. She is a very successful life coach and motivational speaker. You'll hear her journey next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
She spent her early days in war-torn Bosnia. None of us can even imagine the horrors that she saw growing up, but she has turned all of that pain into passion and purpose, and now she's a very successful life coach and motivational speaker, and she's helping women worldwide find empowerment. Mirsada Memic is in the studio. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, share as much as you're comfortable with about your childhood. What are your memories of Bosnia?
As a child, I saw my parents struggle. I saw them not have things. And it was very painful because just not having things and you want to provide, want to help your parents is a very painful journey. And just the gunfire, the house is burned down, there's no food, there's no water. I decided from that day on, that I was going to change the world. I don't know how, but I said one step at a time. And I believe in God's journey and destiny. And when we came to America, I was a little girl, I was 11 years old. And just hearing the story, what my mom and my dad went through is very painful. Imagine in one night, you have everything. God bought you, gave you everything, and in one night, you lose everything. You lose your house, you lose your car, and you start from scratch. There were mothers that couldn't carry their children. And my mother said, if they die, I die with them. So yeah, she's my hero, but it all started with my grandfather. You know, when my father was working when the war broke out. Many mothers couldn't carry their children. So my grandfather, he put me on his back. He carried me through tunnel, through forests. And this is a story that my father and my mom tell over and over again. And because of the pain they went through, I am deciding to be the generational curse breaker in the family and break that for a lot of people. Thank you.
And you began to study self-help and motivation. Talk about that journey.
Actually, everything happened as a little girl. My grandfather believed me and my dreams, and he saved my life during the wartime when mothers couldn't. He grabbed me, he carried me. So for that, I'm very grateful. I wouldn't be alive here today speaking in front of everyone. And I always wanted to give it back and pay forward. He was an orphan. He married my grandmother who was orphaned, and he gave to orphanage. And so I said I was going to continue his legacy. And everything started with that when I lost him. In one night, he developed cancer. I remember massaging his hands. He was sad. And Grandma said, you know, Mirsada, he's going to die because he fell in the tub. And from that point, in one night, your life can change. I decided the last time I saw my grandfather, we were speaking. I was massaging him. We had the last ice cream together. I went to work. I don't know if you guys believe that certain things happen for a reason. We can't bring people back, but we can change how we think. In that one night, I went to work. Everything changed for me. I went to work, and there was a big picture, a beautiful tree. It broke in 1,000 little pieces. And when it broke in 1,000 little pieces, I received a phone call from my mom. Says, come home, Mirsada, Grandpa died. And at that time, I was very depressed. I was very angry. I hated God, and I went through a very painful path.
And a lot of people have pain and they can go into a downward spiral. What do you think changed for you?
Well, in one night I prayed and I said, I'm not going to read any books, but I'm going to make a wish to God. And I made a prayer to God and I said, God, just guide me. I don't understand what you're supposed to teach me. And I came across a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And that book, most people read the book and they're supposed to find a secret. I started reading the book and all of a sudden I started getting downloads information. And I found out the reason people suffer, the reason they have pain, the reason they have anxiety, depression, worry, and all that stuff, it leads down to our thinking. Because our thoughts, they create emotions, they stir emotions, and these emotions, they create pictures. And now we have stories in our mind. And inside our mind, we have 90,000 negative stories. So we get triggered by what we see, what we experience, who's around us. And at that time, I understood it was my emotions that caused the pain. It was the triggers. It was the things that I saw as a child, the things I experienced seeing my grandfather caused me to experience depression. Of course, when losing someone you love is very painful, but learning how to heal, that's another journey. It's beautiful.
And I encourage all my viewers to follow her on Instagram. She has so many great informational videos and affirmations. Let's go ahead and pull this up on the screen. And how do you come up with the content that you deliver? Because so many of your videos are so powerful. Do you get downloads from God? How do you decide what to post?
This is going to be strange. I don't know if you guys believe in intuition, if you trust your intuition. I just wake up and I just do what my heart tells me to do. And I just do every day the message that I receive, or if in a dream, do this, Mirsada, create a video. I just go and do it. And that's from my heart.
And we're going to play a video, but I want you to set this up because we all tell ourselves a story, and sometimes the story is a good story, sometimes the story is a bad story. So describe the video we're about to see.
The video you're about to see is that an old lady told me that Mirsada, actually, I met her in the friendly garden where my grandfather lived. And she said to me, come here, Mirsada, I want to show you this booklet. And in this booklet, she had all her dreams. She achieved all these things in life. And I said to her, how come you achieved these things? Because she went after her fear. Most people are stuck in the comfort zone. They're scared of shame, guilt, worry, all the programs that pass down on to us. So when she showed me that book, how she achieved the beauty pageants and everything, that old lady told me, if you want to achieve your results, Mirsada, you have to face your fears and you have to do what's scary. And from that point, I continue doing what's scary.
So beautiful. Let's go ahead and show that video now.
Powerful woman told me, when it's sent by God, it comes with peace, joy, enjoyment. It comes with feeling of calmness. But when it's sent with not from God, it comes with frustration, depression, anxiety, frustration. See? Distinguish the difference. Pray. Always pray over. Put God in everything you do. Pray over everything. Protect yourself. Because we live with invisible forces that we're not even aware of. And I'm first time in my life I'm a huge believer. I was a believer, now I'm a huge believer. And I know that God is the one, when He gives you the destiny, He's already pre-assigned, and no one and nothing can stop, no weapon formed against you can prosper. But you also have to pray and speak. It's for your protection. I love you guys.
Tell us some of your favorite success stories.
Oh, there's so many testimonials. I'll share. There was a lady who watched me on Instagram. She found out where I hang out, who I spend my time with. So she knew I hang out at the park. She came there. She said, I need you, Mirsada. God brought me to you. I helped her. We became good friends. I gave her a free session. She cried so much. She hugged me and she became a good fan. Not a fan, but also a client. Another client, I work with a 70-year-old millionaire who said, Mirsada, you have a gift. You're meant to change the world. And he said, Mirsada, you should start your business. You should be, you should help, but you should start doing something that God called you to do. I took advice. I worked with him. I helped him break through a paradigm that was connected to his father's belief. Not only did I start my business, he achieved success and scaled his business. So I'm excited for that. There's another person I work with. She says, Mirsada, you're earth angel. I changed her whole life because she lost a child. She's been going through a lot of painful things in life. She was actually a client from my country. And she said, I changed her whole life because she doesn't have fear. She doesn't have trauma. She can now enjoy and be in peace and think positive. And that inspired me that I changed her. She has no fear. She mentioned a story. She went to a vacation and she was experiencing turbulence. Even though there was so much turbulence, she had no fear. There's a lot of stories. There's another story of a lady I work with. She's absolutely amazing. She's also very gifted. She says, Mirsada, after working with you, my life has changed. I'm thinking positive. I love myself. I'm starting to love every flaw about myself. Another lady, 57 years old, I work with, she finally fell in love with herself. After years of low self-esteem, problems, and pain, she started loving herself, stepping into the identity of God, and falling in love with her best version of herself.
Well, clearly this is near and dear to your heart. I hear kind of a quiver in your voice as
Yes.
you're talking about it, but there's also a joy in your eyes. So talk about turning pain into purpose, because so many of us have painful things in our past.
Powerful question. Actually, everything from pain to shame to guilt to worry to apathy, all of these programs, they were programs 0 to 9. We absorbed these programs, and we were born perfect. We had no flaws. We had no depression. We had no anxiety. We were pure, clean. But somehow we absorbed that, and that is because we saw it through our 6 senses, through see, feel, touch, taste, sound, and many other things. And when we saw that, example, maybe we had a father who was very angry, and he would come home very angry, yelling and screaming. The child sees that. The child absorbs that information. Now, that little boy, if the mother didn't receive the love from the father, that little boy is going to struggle with love. He's going to have a hard time with a relationship. He's not going to love himself. He's going to have a hard time succeeding because of what he saw his father do to his mother. And all of these programs, majority of us were living is mom and dad's programs. It's not their fault, but we absorbed it, and we can change it by studying unplugging from the program, unplugging from the system, unplugging from the matrix.
We have about a minute left. So talk to the viewer. There's people watching this who probably are saying, I think I just found my life coach. What do you want to say to that person?
If you have pain, if you're dealing with anything, know that everything happens for you. It's happening for you, but you need somebody. There's many coaches out there, but you need somebody that can help you get the gift, understand where the pain is coming from. Where's the root? Is it coming from mom? Is it from the dad? Is it whose belief, whose program, who gave you the belief, how long you've been repeating the cycles, whose loop? So we have to get to the root of it. When we get to the root, when we break the root, everything changes. So when we fix on the inside, everything changes on the outside.
So beautiful. Final thoughts. What do you want to leave people with?
People told me, you're never going to make it. Naysayers, you're going to hear those things every day in your life. If I can tell you one thing, go after your dreams, trust God, trust His plan, do the work, take inspired action, invest in yourself, and things will change for you, because I'm the example of it.
So beautiful. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We're going to end with her Instagram page so you can follow her and get in touch with her for all your motivational speaking needs and life coaching needs. The great Mirsada Memic. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.